What's up, guys? It's your boy Nick Young, Mr. PX Self himself, coming to you about a video that I think everybody needs to see. Um, Real quick, the boy is continuing to drop the weight. It's taking a little bit of time, but I'm getting prepared for the shows coming up in August and October. So the boy is getting ready. He gonna come through. He gonna come through. So continue to check me out. Stay tuned in. Continue to watch my progress. I'll keep sharing that with you guys. Got more videos coming up on my progress and how things are going for me and getting prepared for these shows. But let's talk about this video real quick. Let's get on this topic of weight loss and how to keep it simple. That's the main thing. So I've got a lot of people come up to me and they say, okay, well, how do you continue to stay lean? What are the things you're doing to, to build muscle, all these particular things, right? Well, the simple fact of it is that I'm consistent. That's the big deal. I'm consistent with what I'm doing. You just have to continue to be motivated, continue to push as hard as you can, but also know when to back off. When you need to make things more sustainable. I always preach sustainability. If you can't stick to it, then it's not going to work. So you got to know when to push, 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 and then when to back off a little bit, right? But the only way you can really do that, because those things get complicated, right? The only way you can truly do that, be consistent, and make things sustainable, is to start with those core foundational principles, right? That you learn when you first start losing weight. And that's the point. That's the problem. A lot of people, they don't learn those principles because they want to go so fast. They want to do everything so quick. They're not taking the opportunity to truly learn those foundational principles, right? But it's just like a house, right? Well, if you don't create a good foundation for that house to be built on, then it's probably not going to continue to stand, right? You can only go so far with it, right? So here are three of core foundational principles that I utilized, right, in my journey to continue to have me progress, right? So the very first one is tracking calories. I know as much as you guys hate it and don't want to do it, cool, that's completely up to you. But you've got to understand tracking calories is key, because the thing is you got to know where your starting point is, right? So how do you run a race or even win a race without even knowing where you're going to start? You don't even know what a starting line is. So how you even know you're going to finish or where you're going to finish? You don't even know where to start, right? So you got to have a starting point. So you got to start tracking the calories. You got to do that, right? You need to know what you're putting in, because if you don't know what you're putting in, how do you know what expenditure you need to be able to lose weight? Because the thing that truly matters in losing weight is calories in, calories out, right? Don't get into this big huge thing about, okay, well, building the muscle and losing the weight, and should I do this and should I do that? How much resistance training? Get away from it. You want to lose weight? It's calories in, calories out. Simple. That's all it comes down to. And you need to track the calories, because in order to lose the weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. Simple. So you need to know how much you're putting in so you know how much you need to expend, right? So that you can continue to lose weight, right? So what you need to do is go get you a food scale. Get you a food scale. I highly recommend you get your food scale. These things are 10, $20 max. Most of them, I mean, if you want a fancy one, a lot of them are like $20 fancy, right? I'll get the ones that's like 20, and I'll have multiple, really, because I like a good scale. But I mean, realistically, you can go to Walmart or something and probably find a $10 scale, or probably even less than that. But probably one of the most valuable tools that you're going to be able to utilize in your journey, right? Uh, like I said, I know a lot of you guys don't want to have to do it, but you need to do it because it's going to make things a lot easier. As you start weighing your food, you'll realize that it becomes a lot easier because you know what you're putting in and you know how much you need to expend. In that particular case, when you think about it, how difficult things could be if you don't know how much you need to expend, you just continue to expend as much as you can when you may not need to do that. Maybe you only need to burn, 200 or 300 calories. And maybe that's only, 30, 45 minutes or something on a treadmill walking slow. But instead, because you don't know what you're putting in and what you need to burn, you're not tracking that. You just start doing 2 or 3 hours worth of cardio. You see what I mean? And then now you're burning way too much, way too fast. And then your body adapts to that. So the thing is you need to, because you want to be sustainable, you need to know what you're putting in, so you can know how much you need to expend, and then you can adjust based on how fast you would like to go. Right now, we'll get into that later on how fast you should go, but right now, track the calories, know what you're putting in so you can know what you need to expend. Simple. um the other thing is, I'll put this in. I don't want the computer to go dead, because if it go dead, then I can't continue to give you my information. Make sure we plug in. Okay, we should be all right. Yeah, but anyways, so the next thing, low calorie dense foods. Another simple thing. Make sure that make sure our power is plugged in. All right, here we go. Pull this back up. All right. So the other thing, low calorie dense foods. Sticking to the low calorie dense foods. And so with the low calorie dense foods, the thing about it is more so the volume, right? The volume of food that is going to be utilized or consumed to help keep you full, satiated over a longer period of time. It fills the belly, right? That's going to be your veggies. That's going to be, your fruits, right? That's going to be your proteins. There's going to be several different things, right? That you can utilize. Good carbohydrates that's got fiber in it, things like that. So oatmeal, right? For your good fibers, carbohydrates, right? Your wheat, grains, your wheat bread. That's going to be things like that, right? That can actually expand in the stomach, right? So all the candies and the sugars and the things like that are so simple. Even nuts, in a sense, right? I mean, you got to kind of pay attention to those too, because they've got high fats, right, and high sugars, and you can eat very little of them, right? And you get a bunch of calories, right? So you got to watch certain things like that. So watch the candies and the Laffy Taffies and all the things that you eat, that they're highly palatable, that taste really really good, but they're high in calorie based on the amount that you eat. Same with the nuts. Like, nuts are good as long as you can, you know, basically moderate the amount that you eat. But some people, they eat a bowl of nuts where fat is 9 calories per gram, right? And so you eat a little bit of nuts, you can get a lot of fat, right? And you can consume a lot of calories like that. But if you take like proteins and your carbohydrates was 4 calories per gram, you can eat a lot more volume of chicken than you can a volume of nuts for less calories, right? And that chicken is going to satiate you. It's going to make you feel full. Same as with the veggies, same with the oatmeal, right? Those things are highly satiating foods, right? They fill the stomach. They have fiber in it, things that expand in the stomach. So you need to work on getting those low calorie dense foods. That's going to be key, because that's going to help you with sustainability, making sure that you're full and you're not always hungry. Now, granted, you're gonna have some hunger. You got to get used to being hungry at some point, because the thing is that actually means your metabolism's working well. You should be, in some sense, hungry. You shouldn't go through the entire day super full. You should have some hunger. Now, you shouldn't be hungry to the point where you like freaking about to knock somebody out because you're angry because you're so hungry. You shouldn't get hungry. You shouldn't be that hungry. Um, these people that are getting like myself at certain points, and you getting contest lean, stage lean, you get that hungry, but that's for a specific reason. That's not for everybody, right? I'm generally not that hungry. It's just that's just the way that it is, right? But I do have some hunger throughout the day. My body lets me know that, hey, we're working well, just feed me, here and there, every 2 to 3 hours or something like that. But you don't have to have, 8, 12 meals like bodybuilders and stuff like that. 4, 5 meals a day is plenty, right? And then, like we say, make sure you capture your caloric intake, right? And so that you do not be super hungry, work on those volumes, get more volume for less calories, right? And there's several different foods out there that's like that, right? Uh, like I said, people, you think, okay, well, it's always lettuce and tomato and the certain foods that we just automatically think it's all veggies that's like that, but it's not. We have so many different outlets today that you can utilize, right? I mean, there's keto bread out there, with lower carbs in it. That's like 40 calories per slice, right? And then you got some bread out there that is 80 calories per slice, right? Which one do you select? It should be simple, right? Go with the 40 calorie per slice. And it's still bread, right? It is less calories, right? Um, just like, some guys, you want to go out there and you want to have, pies and cookies and cakes and stuff like that, but you can go get yogurts, right? Fat-free yogurts, and sweeten them with Splenda and things like that to make them taste even better, right? Splenda is perfect. That's a perfect example. Instead of using all of the sugar that you use on things, just use Splenda, something like Splenda or sugar substitute, right? That's going to give you less calories, because I know they say zero, but it's not 0 calories, right? I mean, I think it's actually like 3 to 4 calories per gram, but that's far less than like actual sugar, right? So stick to those sugar substitutes. Try to find foods and mix things up. Make it where it's palatable for you, but it's more volume, right? Um, yeah, you want, like you say, we say pies, cookies, cakes, and things like that. There's ways to make things like that. FYI, here we go. Simply Dice book coming out. Telling you, it's coming out this fall, 2020 fall. So actually, I'm probably gonna wait till after my contest in October to get it up, send it out to everybody. Well, make it public. Let's put it that way. Make it public, anyways. But I'm creating these recipes, and I use these recipes. Like you can look on Facebook, things like anabolic strawberry shortcake. Those things are amazing dishes that you can utilize that are lower calorie, right? Um, even a cheesecake, low calorie cheesecake. Those things like that I make, they help me keep my diet sustainable. So low calorie dense foods, guys, stick to that. I mean, right now, if all you know is vegetables, start with the vegetables. You'll figure out the rest of it as you go. You'll start figuring out when you go through the store how to weigh the options, right? Like we just said, an 80 calorie piece of bread versus a 40 calorie piece of bread. Which one, right? Those type of things you'll start, looking at and start evaluating what is going to be better, right? Popcorn. Do you get the regular popcorn, or do you go get Smart Pop, right? Where you can eat a full bag for only 240 calories, right? Um, so select those foods, right? So that's the next biggest thing that's to help me. Um, and then the last thing is don't underestimate it, the cardio, right? And I know you listen to a lot of people, oh, well, that's too much cardio. Oh, that's too little cardio. Don't worry about all of that. Focus on doing some cardio. You start off doing some cardio, whether it be 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Start off doing some cardio. Only thing I recommend is that if you've been tracking the calories, you know what calorie expenditure you need to have. You're working on that. Just start doing the cardio, right? Um, Find a good space, 15, 20 minutes, even 30 minutes. Just start with that a day, right? I mean, you don't have to start doing a whole bunch of cardio initially, but just start, right? Because here's the thing. If you don't, then what'll happen is that, from a cardiac standpoint, right? Your heart is the most important muscle in the body. If you don't do that cardio, then your cardiac health declines. So you don't want that. That is just from a sheer health standpoint. And that's as simple as it get. You need to do that for health. Do the cardio, right? There's no cardio thing. Scratch that. You need to do cardio every single day. Now, intensities don't need to be extremely high, or you don't need to be doing 3, 4 hours of cardio a day, but do some. I mean, you do some through need already, but focus on doing some cardio every day. Try to do 15 to 30 minutes or something every day, at a slow pace or whatever, and consistently, continuously try to do better, right? So, if you're doing 30 minutes a day, then slowly go up to, an extra 15 minutes to 45 minutes a day. But try to do that over weeks, though. Don't try to go from, 30 to 45, from one day to day two and day three and day four, and then you're doing 4 hours. No, try to do you 15, 30 minutes, Carl. Just start, and do that for a few weeks. Sometimes if you feel like you need to increase the intensity because you're not getting your heart rate up, then increase the intensity just a little bit. It's okay. But just try not to be in that state where you're doing a whole bunch of cardio or doing no cardio, right? But do the cardio. Gotta do cardio. Do not eliminate cardio. And be careful not to start out extremely high. Take your time with cardio. Focus on that muscle. Focus on getting that in great health, right? So, those are going to be my top three things, guys, that help me get to where I am in my fitness journey. And I hope that they help you also. So, like I said, stay tuned for more information about videos like this that I'll be making. You guys talk to me, tell me, comment what you want to hear about